Big one today, guys. This is literally the smoking gun that allows for the prosecution, the arrest of so many top Democratic officials. All this information is literally put Trump, Senator John Kennedy, Senator Josh Hawley, the DOJ over the edge. This is about as massive as it gets. The DOJ is exploding right now because we have hard proof that 8 congressional leaders were illegally wiretapping, listening to the phone calls, listening to the getting the text messages, intercepting all the messages of 8 sitting congressional leaders. This was coming from Jack Smith, the Biden administration, over all the people that were tied to Trump. You cannot overlook this. They are furious right now, and I'm telling you what, we are already seeing, and there is movement of investigations, lawsuits going after Jack Smith, the Biden's FBI, who spied on the GOP senators following the 2020 election. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because this is as bad as it gets. This is treasonous. You're spying on 8 of your own senators, wiretapped their phones, got their messages, text messages. Could you imagine? The government, you've never done anything wrong. You never were involved in a felony or anything, but you were being wiretapped by the Biden administration because you are a conservative, because you were on Trump's side. That is what's happened right now. They are livid right now on Congress floor. Senator Josh Hawley has just called out every Senate Democrat for refusing to take to care that the Biden DOJ spied on their own political opponents post-2020 election. He said, "We've got nothing but concerns today, but no concern at all for the Justice Department tapping the phones of sitting United States senators. Because who knows why? They don't like them. They're members of the opposite party. They're Republicans. They're conservatives." This is literally the straw that breaks the camel's back, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I am so sick of some of the news that is coming of we're only finding this out because Trump is the president. If Kamala Harris was the president, we would know nothing. These people need to see the inside of a jail cell, everybody. For them illegally, like they lied about the Hunter Biden laptop. They lied about the Russia collusion. They spied on Trump's campaign. And now we finding out that the document, we have the document. We're going to show you the names. The document shows that the Biden FBI spied on 8 of the Senate representatives during the Arctic Frost investigation into election conspiracy. It later became Jack Smith's case against Trump. Biden FBI weaponization is worse than Watergate. This is what Senator Chuck Grassley said. Trump is so fed up with it. Listen to this. The Insurrection Act. We have seen so many lawfare used against the Republicans, against conservatives, against MAGA, that Stephen Miller notated yesterday that Trump is considering the Insurrection Act. Not only against previous Democrat officials, but against sitting governors and mayors across blue sanctuary states. President Donald Trump is reportedly weighing the use of emergency powers to override court challenges and deploy federal troops to war-torn cities, Portland, Chicago, California, amid the unrest. And now we hear this about the Biden administration, Jack Smith, investigating wiretapping sitting senators. I'm telling you, y'all, this is getting really, really bad. Not only because if we don't see arrests from this, people are going to lose faith in the entire justice system. How could they wiretap? And nobody said anything. Democrats don't even care. Democrats said that this never happened. This is bad. And not only that, the government last night to get the government to get back up and running again, the Democrats are not budging. They voted no. The Senate vote did not pass. And neither is Trump's team caving. We cannot continue to give trillions of dollars for votes. And that's what the Democrats want right now, $1.5 trillion. And we have the receipts to show you that the Democrats have said we do not give illegal migrants Medicaid, Medicare, healthcare, we're going to show you where even New York Times, even MSNBC, even NBC, and CBS all reported in the last 3 years at one point in time or another that billions and billions of dollars were being used for illegal immigrant healthcare. We've got the receipts. We're exposing the corruption, guys. I'm telling you, I'm ready for today's show. I am so sick of the enemy within, what we're dealing with at the sanctuary cities as well as within Congress. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Today's going to be a big show, guys. My heart is ready for this. I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching, to all of our subscribers and viewers. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much for your support. Want to give so much thanks to our members of the channel, those that give a super chat donation, those that are members. We truly want to give some love towards those that support our giving. Tracy Markham, Papa Don, thank you so much, Tracy. Show Tracy and Papa Don some love in the chat. This is big. Remember that on the 22nd of every single month, we're donating live on stream to a local charity. We're doing our part to help make this world a better place. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor, again, the thumbs up like button. It really does help our channel out so much. When you're a member or you give a super chat donation, we take the proceeds and we donate live on stream. Guys, we bring transparency, not like Congress right now. This is big. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because as we dig deep into this, we're going to show you the names. We're going to show you how furious Holly Kennedy is, what's going to happen next. People are so fed up with this. Let me know your thoughts.
Is that the FBI spied on sitting Republican senators as part of the January 6th investigation. What do we know? Well, we turn to Mark Meredith. He is live from the White House with more. Hi, Mark. Good morning.
Dana, I sure am. Good morning to you. Today, Republican senators are outraged, if not downright furious with the FBI after they learned that some of their calls were also probed as part of the investigation into January 6th, where senators were basically finding out where these people were calling and where they were calling from. These reports are just coming out yesterday, and we're learning who was targeted in the probe, and they include Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, Josh Hawley of Missouri, Tommy Tuberville of Alabama, and Representative Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania.
Oh, isn't it so interesting that all these people are, Republican?
Document recently uncovered by the Trump administration and first reported by Fox Digital shows the FBI pulled the phone records of those lawmakers a few years after the January 6th attack. As Politico points out, the probe did not obtain the content of the calls, only the recipients, the lengths of the calls, and the date on which they were placed. The request for this information was approved by a grand jury. This was all tied to the FBI and Special Counsel Jack Smith's investigation into the alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election. President Trump was charged but not convicted in the case. The case's code name was Arctic Frost. Lawmakers, as Aisha mentioned, will have a lot of questions about this, about why this was allowed to happen, and are also considering next steps to hold the FBI accountable.
Wow.
I don't know how Grassley wants to handle it. I'm not going to get ahead of
government administration.
But I tell you, this is a serious situation. We're going to have to get to the bottom.
We've yet to hear from the former special counsel about all of this. We'll be curious if he gives any comment at any point. But we are hearing from President Trump today. Dana, he says it looks like Jack Smith had his hand in the cookie jar. Dana.
All right, Mark, thank you so much.
Let's bring in our colleague, Will Cain, host of the Will Cain Show, 4 o'clock Eastern every day out of Texas. And Will, good morning to you. So Josh Hawley is one of the senators on this list. We're going to talk to him next hour. But here is Ron Johnson's characterization of what was happening there. Watch here.
It should shock, it should outrage every American. Quite honestly, by now, it should be obvious to every American that it's not the Republicans that are a threat to our democracy. It's President Obama, it's President Biden, it's the radical leftists that have served and support them.
Wow.
This is outrageous.
In the end, the president winning re-election forced the case just to be dropped.
Did you hear that? The case was only dropped after Trump won the election. This right here, I'm telling you, everybody, you cannot make this stuff up. When you look at all the news that's coming out right now over the spying of the 8 GOP senators, this is arguably worse than Watergate. This just shows you how far these people went to try and find something or dig into the personal records of people. And again, too, All weaponization of lawfare. Did these people ever commit a crime? No. Did they ever, did they have anything to do with Trump's cabinet team? The 2020? No. But yet, this is what we're seeing now. And guys, it's all across the news right now. Biden FBI spied on 8 GOP senators, with damning new doc claims, arguably worse than Watergate. And Chuck Grassley, who is the Senate Judiciary Chairman, has now accused the Biden administration FBI of spying. They said lawsuits, investigations, full-out investigations are about to happen. And it all comes down to this. It was lawfare against the Trump administration in every single way and anybody that was tied to him. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate this, y'all, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. Danny, thank you so much for your support. Said, take it back. Danny, let's go. Lily Shara, let's go. Member of the channel. Show Lily and Danny some love in the chat, as well as the Texas Lazy Gardener. Member for a month, let's go. Said, I hope they all go to prison. If we don't see people going to prison over this, it's all going to come down to this guy right here pushing. Chuck Grassley, being the Senate Judiciary Chairman, has to push forward with the lawsuit against what's happening right now. And I'm telling you, the things that we're seeing on the floor of Congress right now, they are furious because, again, imagine if your phones were wiretapped. Imagine if you were the guy. Look at this. And this is the actual document right here. Mike Kelly, Lindsey Graham, Bill Hagerty, Josh Hawley, Dan Sullivan, Tommy Tuberville, Ron Johnson, Cynthia Loomis, Marsha Blackburn. All very MAGA conservative individuals they're furious. Listen to this, because you cannot make this stuff up.
Manner of things and the current president. I've also heard them said, and I just wrote it down because I wanted to be sure I heard it correctly. I've heard them say that Joe Biden never targeted his political enemies. Joe Biden never directed his attorney general to target his political opponents. That's interesting, because I could have sworn that yesterday we learned that the FBI tapped my phone. Let's look at it. We've got a list. Tapped my phone, tapped Lindsey Graham's phone, tapped Marsha Blackburn's phone, tapped 5 other phones of United States senators. Gee, it sure looks like targeting political opponents to me, and yet I haven't heard a word from that side of the dais about any concern whatsoever. We've got nothing but concerns today, but no concern at all for a Justice Department that is tapping the phones of sitting United States senators because who knows why. They don't like them. They're members of the opposition party. They're Republicans. They're conservatives. You've seen this document, Attorney General Bondi. Well, what was going on here? Who ordered this? Who ordered the tapping of the phones of United States senators?
Senator Hawley, I cannot discuss the details of that right now for very good reason.
You're going to do a thorough investigation into this, I trust. Is that correct?
We will be looking at all aspects of this, and I have talked to Director Patel at length about this.
And you're going to figure out who was involved in this, who signed off on all manner of...
You tell me. I'm telling you, if we are not showing you on every facet how much lies, look at the list of people, everybody, of the Republicans that were arrested under the Biden administration. Donald Trump, Stephen Bannon, Navarro, Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, Jeffrey Clark. Look at this. All this list. Nancy Cottle, Anthony Kern, James Larnon. You want to tell me, George Papadopoulos, you want to tell me that there wasn't no targeting? Oh, yeah, plus the 1,265 J6 defendants. That there wasn't no targeting. There wasn't. This is the names of all the Republicans that were arrested under President Biden. We are literally on the brink, of an inflection point of, are we going to actually hold people accountable? Because dang it, they sure went after Republicans whenever they could and tried to keep Trump from winning, tried to keep Trump from being on the campaign trail by putting him in courts. Fred Samuel, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Let's go. So remember, everyone, it takes time to make the cases stick in court of law with liberal judges. Amen. The Texas Lazy Gardener, let's go, said, the ones who were not wiretapped are rhinos. Wow. Y'all show the Texas Lazy Gardener, Fred Samuel, some love in the chat. We're showing you the list, everybody. And again, too, it goes back to this right here. What's going to happen next? Because the people that are in Congress right now, the people that have actually been wiretapped, they're taking big action. Listen to this.
Tuberville, can you explain to people exactly what's going on about this entire thing, sir?
Well, Steve, as you well know, the last four years before President Trump was a complete disaster. The animals were running a zoo. Joe Biden was somewhere off in the White House walking around, and somebody else was running our country. 100% was after President Trump. Everything that they did was to bring our country a little bit farther into socialism, and the other was to block President Trump from having any opportunity to ever be reelected again, because he's one of the few people that'll go after him. Now, the canaries are starting to sing. This happened because of a whistleblower. Dan Bongino brought us all in. I had no clue what this was about, and basically said, listen, you have been breached. Your telephone logs have been breached, ingoing, outgoing calls by a task force put together by Jack Smith. He was fishing. He was fishing for any kind of information on President Trump. I know exactly what he was looking for. I had talked to President Trump as early as right after the so-called, or right before the so-called insurrection. So my phone calls from January the 4th, 2021 and on were confiscated by the FBI. And this, by the way, investigation has just started. We will know more as the week goes on about what happened and why they did it, and more whistleblowers will come to the front. People will be called in to testify. Grand jury has it in their hands now. They couldn't give us all the information, but
wow.
So
again, whenever it gets to the grand jury, this is good, everybody, because now we know, because all this is breaking news. This literally got released last night. People are taking action today that when it gets to the grand jury, they can set up indictments for people to be charged, criminally charged. Because again, too, it's if I could just show you every single facet of all the breaking news, stuff that hasn't even hit the mainstream media, just like this right here. Newly declassified records from CIA Director John Ratcliffe showed that in 2015, Vice President Biden asked an intelligence report on foreign concerns about his family ties to corrupt business dealings in Ukraine not be disseminated. The records were ultimately withheld. Ratcliffe calls this an example of politicization of intelligence. Do you see this? The VP literally had the documents held back and weren't propagated so that people could see the truth about his dealings with foreign entities that were corrupt. Guys, I'm telling you, this right here today is going to be a big day of action, because this bombshell news, not only were these people, he's like, we were brought into a room, had no idea, and then we're getting told that our phones have been tapped. Could you imagine? I would be so furious. I'd want to go punch somebody in the face, especially when it comes to, you never did anything wrong.
Socialist, communist Democrats at their best, they're just fighting as hard as they possibly can to bring this country down and fight against people that love America.
But Senator, this is another element to show you they're at war with us. This is not normal politics. This is not arguing and debating in the Senate. I know you came to the Senate, and I would say you admit fairly naive about how the government works and how things work. And you get up here and you see what a cesspool it is. But you also see how the Democrats ran a police state. These aren't just average people. You're in the most famous and a deliberative body in the world. Since the Senate in Rome, you are considered the height. And they're going after folks like you, not just the little Americans who they can crush. They're trying to crush the most prominent people in the country that they think disagree with them. This is how do you can't. This is my point. There's no middle ground here. They're at war with us. And they said, we just had Eric Trump on here in the book Under Siege about the family, but you're seeing it right now with a handful of very prominent senators where they were coming after you to destroy you, right? They were coming after you because Jack Smith wanted to bring criminal charges on Senator Tuberville because Senator Tuberville happens to be a tough guy who's not going to take any nonsense and is up there to represent the people in Alabama to get results and answers, sir.
Wow.
Exactly. I was called by their investigators several years ago, about answering some questions here in my office in front of investigators about January the 6th. And again, I was there, and I told them there's no way I'm going to talk to you because I knew how corrupt they were, how crooked they were, and who they were after. It was none of their business, to be honest with you. So they've done everything they possibly can, Steve. And, you know, being an American, you know, we're briefed every year on China, Iran, North Korea, Russia, that they're countries that are trying to get into our phones, are trying to get all of our information, maybe listening to conversations. I never dreamed that our country would do something like this. This is absolutely embarrassing. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. They're probably going after you and any of the conservative media. This is just one whistleblower that's brought all this up. It's going to continue. A lot of people will get in trouble over a lot of different things, including things like this, and they should, but we need more whistleblowers to...
Man, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, everybody, this is big. Let me tell you this. If it's already in the grand jury, that means the DOJ has already sentenced this off. Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, they are fighting big time. Let me tell you this. Even with what just came out yesterday as well, FBI Director Kash Patel says that the ADL lobbyists called in a panic when they found out that the FBI was cutting ties with them. Think about that. The lobbyists of the ADL begged for a phone call, and Kash Patel said no. That's how I knew they were in the wrong the entire time, and we proved it. The ADL that was... You know who the ADL is. We showed you that they literally specified Turning Point USA as an extremist group. An extremist group. Turning Point USA. Guys, this is what people don't see. This is the stuff that's so important when it comes to who we vote for, exposing them, and never letting the government get like it was under the Biden administration with a shadow government, a puppet of a president, allowing an invasion into our country. Robert Cash, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Let's go. So we are seeing more truth. We want accountability and justice for all. MAGA, let's go. Show Robert Cash some love in the chat, everybody, as well as Fred Samuel said this shutdown may make whistleblowers come forward, especially if they are afraid they may lose their jobs. Wait until everything is exposed. 100%. Show Fred, OG of the channel, some love in the chat, everybody. The shutdown is really putting people on edge. And again, too, the stuff that's coming out, and we don't know if it's true, if it's the truth. We haven't seen Trump say it, but even with Ghislaine Maxwell and a pardon, things are going to get crazy, everybody. But we're going to show you everything as the news is breaking.
Come forward to tell what they saw, what they had to do, what they were convinced to do, and people need to go to jail. People back in Alabama, Steve, tell me, say, Coach,
right
listen,
there.
When are people going to be indicted? When are people going to go to court? And I am 100% there. We cannot allow this opportunity to go away. We have got to take advantage of this and get our country back. And it's the only way we're going to be able to do it.
I absolutely agree. We have to strike, and we have to strike now. But I want to go, when you have Senator Ron Johnson up there, and you guys are back up and say, hey, Dan Bongino doesn't know where the information is because it's being hidden from him. He's deputy director of the FBI. I mean, it's so blatant that they have people, they still run the apparatus.
Right
what is
there.
your recommendation to the President of the United States to break their hold on this? We're now sitting here in September of 2025. We're over 250, almost 300 days, I guess, into this, close to 250 on this administration, the United States senator has to stand up at a microphone with senators in back of him that have been illegally surveilled, and they have to ask for whistleblowers to come forward because the deputy director of the FBI tells them they're hiding the information from us. They won't come forward, and we need a whistleblower to be brave enough. What does that tell us about our control of the system, sir?
Well, the control of the system is the Democrats slow playing everything that's going on up here, and that's part of their game plan. They do not want to confirm anybody. They don't want to put anybody in place that can actually do the job. Now, you can get people like Dan and Kash Patel, but you have to have people that are going to work under the back of the scenes, and it has been almost impossible to get anybody confirmed for a position, and this is exactly the reason why. There are so many things out there that they broke the law on. They are trying to stall, hopefully to get President Trump out in 3 years, and none of it comes to light. But I'll take my hat off to Dan and Kash because I talk to them regularly, and they are digging as hard as they can. This was a committee that was basically underground doing the background work, and luckily one of these members come forward and said, listen, this is what we did, and we think this is wrong. And so more and more is going to have to happen like that. We got to put pressure on them. People have to go to jail, and again, I think that people have to be called out for it. And if, we have an attorney general that's got to go after these people, and we have to indict them. They have to pay the price for what they've done. If they don't, it's over. Sack the bat.
That's the God honest truth. It is over. Let me show you this. Because again, none of this was by chance. This came out today. CBS News, source, the Department of Homeland Security. Look at where in 2025 the illegal crossings along the U.S.-Mexico border. Look at that chart where it was ultimately under the Biden administration and then where it's at now under Trump. Whether it was the invasion of the southern border, whether it was the lawfare used now that we know against this literally shadow FBI department going after certain senators, congressional leaders. Like, you're hearing Tommy Tuberville tell us the whole story, y'all. This is what's insane. And he's like, we have to arrest these people. People have to go to jail. You cannot use lawfare against people and just think that everything's going to be okay. And if you appreciate this, if you don't mind doing us a huge favor, hitting the thumbs up like button, guys. Thank you so much for your support. I am sick and tired. Like, this is why I appreciate it so much when you share our videos, you like our videos, we're getting our voice out there. People don't see this stuff of the actual what's going on. The stuff that I show you is not shown on mainstream media. The actual details of what's going on from the people that are involved. This is big, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
And circle the wagons because we'll lose our country.
Where do we stand with recess appointment? I know you made some changes that you get some people through, but there's still tons of backup. And like you said, it's the second and third tier that we need to get in there. Where do we stand with the appointments themselves? And are you prepared to tell Thune, hey, man, we got to go to recess. We got to go to recess. Let Trump make these appointments. Somehow we've got to ratchet the game up, sir.
Well, we changed the rules. We had 50 that were confirmed at one time before the recess last week. We're doing the same thing today. We will confirm 104 people that should have been confirmed 6 months ago, but they'll be confirmed today. That will almost catch us up to everybody other than the federal judges. The federal judges have to be separate. So we are filling positions right and left now. It took us 6 months to figure out Democrats weren't going to help us. They're just playing a stall game, four corners basketball. They don't want anything to be found out, but I would say before Christmas, we're going to have everybody in place, Steve. That'll give us 3 years in which to start swinging a bat. I just hope it's time enough to where we can save the midterms next year and save the House and the Senate. Because if we don't, they're going to try to impeach President Trump every day if they get the House.
Last question for those great folks in Alabama that come up to you and say, Coach, when are we going to start seeing some perp walks? When are we going to start seeing some guys, some trials? When are we going to start seeing some folks go to prison? What is your answer today?
Well, I would say in the first 6 months of next year, you're going to have indictments. You're going to have people that are going to have to be getting lawyers, spending millions of dollars of their money on something like this. President Trump had to do it. Roger Stone had to do it. It is embarrassing, but we have to hold these people accountable. They are trying to destroy this country, and they've got a foot in the door. We got to kick that foot back out and put them in prison, do what needs to happen for the American people's sake. Give them a peace of mind that something's actually being done.
That is 100%. Like, don't you love it that we have some people, like, those are the leaders that I want to see in leadership positions in the Senate, in the House, people that speak like that. This is mind-blowing, everybody, what we are showing you today. Newly declassified records from CIA Director John Ratcliffe showed that in 2015, VP Biden asked intelligence reports on foreign concerns about his family ties to corrupt business dealings in Ukraine not to be disseminated. Don't show everybody what we've been doing. And guess what? They were withheld. Such corruption, everybody. Oh my goodness, this is huge. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Big breaking news today. PDX67, let's go with the 20 gifted TrueLife News memberships. If you got a free membership from PDX, show them some love in the chat. Let's go. PDX, if you don't mind sending a message and adding TrueLife News, let me know your name. I'd love to give your name a shout out. But if not, we'll just call you PDX67. Show them some love in the chat if you got a free membership. Growing our family, growing our voice. This is big, everybody. And what I love too is that the fight that is happening within Congress right now. They're trying to grill Pam Bondi. She's fighting back. We're exposing them for their hypocritical stances. And I'm so thankful that right now we are literally showing everything. And the breaking news, I'm telling you, stuff that you don't see normally on mainstream. But I want to move real quick into our sponsor, everybody. Ours, one of our only sponsors, we only have like two. One is Chapter, one is ourselves, one of my other companies. But Chapter is an amazing company, everybody. We're, right now, if you call them up, all the stuff that they do for you is free. If you're on Medicare or you're about to be on Medicare, they check over all the plans. We've got new 2026 plans that are about to that already come out, and they can literally compare your current plan to the 2026 plan on Medicare and make sure that you are taken care of with the best, most financially efficient plan. They have saved seniors on average $1,100 a year. Guys, this is big money, and this needs to be done every single year so that you're taken care of. You can call the number 667-895-3015. Tell them that Joel sent you from TrueLife News. You got a ton of Medicare Advantage plans that are about to disappear. You've got a lot. I know that open enrollment starts on the 15th, and that's whenever plans can be changed. But if you call them right now, they can go ahead and compare your current plan and the new plans and get you at the front of the line. And that's what you want. I'm telling you, this is free. I don't partner with anybody unless I vetted them and I know they're going to take care of you. And I just want to thank everybody that supports us. When you do this, if you're on it, you're going to be better for it. Call them up at 667-895-3015. Like I said, tell them that Joel sent you. You're going to be taken care of. Want to say thank you so much, Google user, for the super chat. Let's go. Said Perp Walks. I'm here for it. Do I have enough popcorn? I love it. Oh, man. Tomorrow's going to be a big one. We got maybe potentially Comey doing the Perp Walk. We're going to be here for it, everybody. But listen to this, because I'm telling you, they're trying to fight against Trump's cabinet team, but we have the best, powerful cabinet team ever. Listen to this.
February, you made a public claim that the Epstein client list was, quote, sitting on my desk right now for review, end of quote. You then produced already public information and no client list at a major media event hosted at the White House. Attorney General Bondi, why did you publicly claim to have the Epstein client list waiting for your review and then produce nothing relevant to that claim?
Senator Durbin, if you listen to my entire clip on that, I said I had not reviewed it yet, that it was sitting on my desk along with the JFK files, the Martin Luther King files. And I said I had not yet reviewed it. And if you see our memo on Epstein, you will see, excuse me, our memo on Epstein clearly points out that there was no client list, our July 6th memo. You also didn't let me respond to the HIDTA question. The budget transfers $196 million for high-intensity drug trafficking areas to the Office of Justice Programs, OJP. The Justice Department will continue to administer those grants under OJP in 2026.
Going back to the Epstein files, according to another whistleblower who made a protected disclosure to my office, you pushed the FBI to review approximately 100,000 Epstein-related records on an arbitrarily short deadline in March, and the FBI was directed to flag any documents that mentioned President Trump. Nothing came of that review until July, when DOJ and FBI released an unsigned memo stating, quote, "there's no incriminating client list." Why was the July 7th memo unsigned?
The July 7th memo came from the FBI and the Department of Justice. Director Patel answered those questions very clear. And, you know, Senator Durbin, I find it very interesting that you refused repeated Republican requests to release the Epstein flight logs in 2023 and 2024. You fought that. Did you take money from Reid Hoffman, campaign donations, who was a huge Epstein friend? Why did you fight for years? Why did you fight to not disclose the flight logs, Senator Durbin?
I can tell you I did not refuse. One of the senators here wished to produce those logs, and I asked her to put it in writing, and she never did.
Yeah, I think Senator Blackburn would quarrel with you on that. But
I will quarrel with
you
as to Reid, somebody that you mentioned I never heard of.
Reid Hoffman.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this. You
Wow.
won't do today, but eventually you will. I yield, Mr. Chairman.
I gotta
Mr.
interject
Chairman.
something here
Mr.
before I
Chairman.
get- yeah.
Mr. Chairman, since Senator Durbin referred to me, I would really appreciate the opportunity to correct the record.
Proceed.
Because Senator Durbin knows I repeatedly asked for those flight logs. I brought up the subpoena. You even shut down the committee because you didn't want that, and you know I submitted that in writing, and you continue to misrepresent that, and I am not going to let that record stand.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Senator Durbin.
I just want to make it clear that the reason the committee business ended was that your side invoked the 2-hour rule. Point number 2 is I asked you if you wanted any documents like flight logs to put it in writing. You never did.
Yes, sir, I did. And your staff knows that I did.
No.
We'll submit once again
Send me a copy
the
of that,
information to you. We've done that several times, but we'll be happy to once
By
again
the last justice.
send it to you. I think your staff doesn't show that to you.
Wow. Let me tell you this, everybody. What I love that people are kind of just getting unfiltered. I feel like we've been gaslit so much with this that's happened. Just think about it. They have protected themselves exponentially, and now we have the names of the 8 senators that were all phones wiretap, messages, all things like this. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for growing our voice. Don't forget to show PDX67 some love in the chat. Let's go for the gifted memberships. We appreciate you so much helping us grow our voice. But when you look at Mike Kelly, Lindsey Graham, Bill Haggerty, Josh Hawley, Dan Sullivan, Tommy Tuberville, Ron Johnson, Cynthia Loomis, Marsha Blackburn, this is big. It goes back to people that were trying to cover up for the Democrats, and they've already sent this to the grand jury for federal prosecution. Everybody, that they said they had no basis to wiretap the sitting senators, and now it's moving forward. Listen to this.
By the last Justice Department. But the American people spoke loud and clear when they overwhelmingly elected him. The two-tier system of justice is over.
Senator Kennedy. Yes.
General, welcome. Let's suppose that I'm appointed special counsel at the Department of Justice, and I go to the telecommunication companies, the phone companies. Let's single out AT&T, and I say, look, I know you're busy, but I want to see a copy of the phone records of a sitting United States senator. They're not going to just give them to me, are they?
No, Senator, of course not.
In fact, they're probably going to ask me what planet I just parachuted in from, aren't they?
Yes, Senator.
They're going to tell me to come back with a subpoena, aren't they?
Yes, Senator.
Okay. What do I have to show in that subpoena to get those phone records of a sitting? Did I mention it was a sitting United States senator? I can't remember. What do I have to show to get the phone records of a sitting United States senator?
Yes, Senator, there were actually 8 sitting United States senators.
Yeah, I heard that.
And you would have to have cause.
I'm sorry, what do I have to show?
You would have to have cause to get the subpoena.
Good cause or probable cause?
Probable cause.
Okay. Probable cause, or if it's a subpoena deuces take them, good cause, to show what?
You would need good cause for a subpoena ducis tecum, and what you would have to show is that you believed a crime had been committed, or there was a possibility of a crime, or that could lead to other crimes. We frequently, in criminal enterprises, subpoena cell phones.
By the sitting United States senator.
Senator, they would have to have believed you were part of a criminal conspiracy, is my understanding.
Wow.
Would a judge have to sign off on it? On the subpoena?
Yes, Senator. Well, for a subpoena ducis tecum, Jack Smith probably took it straight to the judge.
Now, the phone companies, particularly their general counsel, if they're worried about civil liability, even with a subpoena to get the phone records of a sitting United States senator. Did I mention it was a sitting United States senator?
Yes, Senator.
The general counsel for that phone company, let's say AT&T, they have the right to seek to quash that subpoena, don't they?
Phone companies frequently do that.
Yeah. And a smart general counsel for that phone company is going to call the sitting United States senator and say, would you like to weigh in on this? Would you like me to quash the subpoena?
Wow.
We're talking about invading someone's privacy here by a sitting United States senator.
And I want to show you this too, everybody, because all this matters. And we're trying to do is we're trying to just show you how much lawfare is happening. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, thank you so much for your support. That really does help out. And, you know, today's such a big show. I think we're going to go ahead. Let's get some fireworks. Are we going to get? Nope. You know, I don't get it. Sometimes we get fireworks, sometimes we don't. But I want to show you this because you think that it's over just because Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino are heading it does not mean that we haven't rooted out the swamp. DOJ lawyer refusing to prosecute New York Attorney General Letitia James. Even though we have the evidence, even though we have all the for the mortgage fraud case, we're still dealing with people that do not want to go after people that explicitly, we have the records, broke the law. This right here is what we're still fighting against. Fred Samuel, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Let's go. He said the Democrats are being exposed everywhere and Durbin needs to retire before he incriminates himself. No, let him incriminate himself. I say just let him go. Show Fred Samuel some love in the chat. Gator Presley and Darlene Chapman. Let's go. Being a member for a month. I love it. Show them some love in the chat. The deeper that we get, everybody, the more and more we're finding out how corrupt the dang administration really is and was and still is, in part, even though Trump is president.
Could the general counsel for the phone company do that?
Well, Senator, if they believe that a crime could have been committed, they could not tip off the person who committed the crime. Again, I can't comment on details of this particular case.
I'm just asking you theoretically.
I've never seen you commit a crime, Senator Kennedy.
But let's suppose, okay, they didn't want to tip off the sitting United States senator, but the phone company and the general counsel for the phone company, or companies, if there were more than one involved, could say, you know, this is serious as an aneurysm. This is serious as 4 heart attacks and a stroke. This is a sitting United States senator. So general counsel would likely advise the CEO, well, you need to file a motion to quash. The telephone companies could have contested those subpoenas, could they not?
Hypothetically, yes. I can't talk about the facts of this particular case.
We're talking hypothetical.
Senator, subpoenas are issued all the time through phone companies working with the general counsel.
But they can file a motion to quash.
They could, yes.
Yeah.
In any case.
And if they should have filed a motion to quash, and a reasonable person would have filed a motion to quash, because this is a sitting United States senator, and they didn't file a motion to quash, they would incur civil liability, wouldn't they?
Senator, typically phone companies follow a subpoena from a United States attorney.
No, they do, but they don't have to.
They could challenge it, Senator.
Yeah. And if they don't challenge it, they better have a damn good reason. Right? Right?
Senator, I can't talk about the facts of this particular
This is just
case.
a hypothetical.
In general, hypothetically, Senator, maybe they didn't recognize any of the names of the 8 sitting United States senators.
Hypothetically.
Wow.
That was a joke.
Or maybe they should have gone to Amazon and buy some testicles online.
Ooh.
Instead of just saying, sure, I'll just show you the phone records of a sitting United States senator on the basis of an administrative subpoena. Now, do you have copies of the subpoena applications for
Yes,
these
Senator,
8
Senator, I can't discuss anything regarding this.
You can't
case
even
with
tell me if you have copies?
I can't discuss any of this.
All right,
with
when
you,
are
I'm
you
sorry.
going to, General, when are you going to be able to discuss it?
I can't discuss whether there is or is not a pending investigation,
I understand,
Senator. This
but
was
let's
just
assume
brought to light
if
by
there is a
Director
pending investigation, I don't want this to get swept under the rug, okay?
Right there.
Because I think you're going to get pushed back from all quarters. I think the telecommunication companies are going to be all over you like a bad rash because they've got liability here for just turning over these records when they knew what was going on. I think some FBI agents may have some liability here. I think a special counsel might have some liability here. If I were your special counsel and you had appointed me and I wanted to get the records of a sitting United States senator, is that something you would expect me to tell you as Attorney General of the United States?
They better have.
Yeah.
And
do we know in this instance of the 8 sitting United States senators if they told Attorney General Garland?
Senator, I just learned about this very recently, as did Director Patel, and we cannot discuss the details. I don't know many of the details.
Well, maybe we ought to get Attorney General Garland here.
Ooh.
Do you know if the special counsel told FBI Director Wray? Is that something? Let me put it another way. If I were your special counsel and you were the director of the FBI and I'm trying to get the phone records of a sitting United States senator, did I mention it was a sitting United States senator? Is that something that you would expect me to tell you as director of the FBI?
In general, I would believe the FBI would help execute the subpoenas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I want to switch to another subject in the 12 minutes that I have left, since everybody else got to go over.
Let me show you this, everybody, because I'm telling you, the stuff that is coming out, my goodness. This is the email records. We show you things you don't see on mainstream media, everybody. The email records, newly declassified records, reveal that Ukrainian officials viewed the Biden family's business dealings as evidence of a double standard within the United States government towards matters of corruption and political power. An email from the former DNI James Clapper notes that Vice President Biden requested the intelligence reports on these concerns not to be disseminated. Here it is. Look at this right here. I just spoke with VP NSA and he would strongly prefer the report not to be disseminated. The findings on the VP's family and their corrupt dealings. Right here, everybody. Here's the evidence. And I want to show you this, everybody. Let me tell you this because I feel like it just hit me. The reason that Pam Bondi is being a certain way when it comes to everything that's happening, she does not want to be put in jail one day. If we don't win the 2026 midterms or the 2028 election, there's a good chance that and I say good, there is a highly probable, most likely going to happen chance that the Democrats are going to go after everybody. Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, Trump again. They'll figure something out. And with what we've shown you today, don't think that they're not above trying to create a dang felony from nothing. That's why I think that she is very cautious. She's only going to do something if it's 100% provable, rather than just, and again, too, not that you wouldn't do something that's not 100% provable, but where there's smoke, there's fire. And at least you can investigate and prosecute for something. I think she's afraid that she's going to be prosecuted in the future by the Democratic Party, and that's why she does not want to move forward as boldly as we would think she needs to be. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate this, y'all, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Thank you so much for your support. Let's finish it out.
I've got to ask you about this, General. Secretary Howard Lutnick on October 1 gave an interview to the New York Post about Mr. Epstein. And he described Mr. Epstein as, quote, the greatest blackmailer ever, close quote. Have you reviewed that transcript of that interview?
I have not reviewed the transcript, but I saw the clip of it.
Okay. It appears that Secretary Lutnick was Mr. Epstein's next door neighbor. In fact, their townhomes shared a wall. And the reporter that was talking to Mr. Lutnick, she asked how other prominent men could have been associated with Epstein when Mr. Lutnick could immediately sense that he was a, quote, pervert. And then Secretary Lutnick said, or rather the reporter said, did they see it and ignore it? Do you remember that from the interview?
I do.
And Commerce Secretary Lutnick said, no, they participated. And then Commerce Secretary Lutnick goes on to say, quote, that's what his MO was. You know, get a massage, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume, was a video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever, blackmailed people. That's how he had money, end quote. Is that true?
Senator, as our July memo said, we did not uncover evidence. This case has gone through 3 administrations, as well as former U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta.
I know that, Pam, but Have you interviewed Secretary Lutnick?
No, Senator.
Do you plan to?
If he wants to talk to the FBI or the FBI wants to talk to him, that is more than on.
Don't you think you ought to talk to him after this interview?
Senator, if Howard Lutnick wants to speak to the FBI and if Director Patel wants to speak to Howard Lutnick, absolutely.
Okay. Maybe we ought to get Mr. Lutnick in here too, Mr. Chairman.
Senator,
Let me tell you this, everybody. Some of the most disgusting stuff just keeps coming out, but is it a shocker? No, it's not. Transgender school bus driver called Miss Sharon accused of child sex crimes. I'm telling you, everybody, when people that have an issue with reality, because again, too, as an adult, you can do whatever you want, but when you bring that around the kids, that's whenever things just don't end up in the best place. And when I see this, all I think about is, man, I'd never let my kid ride on the bus. I would do anything that I could. Because again, even the kid, like you hear these people that they're called furries or something like that, where they literally, they like to dress up as animals and be treated as animals. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And then used to, back in 2020, 2021, you couldn't say anything because then people like, oh, you're transphobic and all that. No. Or you're this or you're this. No. I just want to know what's common sense and what is reality of normalcy. And there is nothing normal with a lot of stuff that has transpired that affects our kids. Why do you think Netflix is losing so bad right now? People are sick of it. But you know what people aren't sick of? They're not sick of Trump. Look at this coming from CNN.
What are we talking about here? Well, why don't we take a look here? Favorable view of Donald Trump. You know, you go back to October of 2024, 44% of the American public viewed him favorably. Now, despite everything, look at this. 43%, which is well within the margin of error of that 44%. And here's the thing to keep in mind. This was good enough to get Trump reelected back in 2024. And Donald Trump is basically at the same point here right now, which I think would surprise a lot of folks, especially a lot of folks on the left who very much disagree with a lot of what Donald Trump has done.
What do you see is underneath that and driving that? Why is he basically the same?
Okay, you know, to quote the esteemed caller Dennis Green, the former head coach in the National Football League, Donald Trump is who the voters thought he was. What are we talking about here? Well, is Trump doing what he promised in the 2024 campaign? Yes, 52%. The majority of Americans say that Donald Trump is doing what he promised compared to 48% who said no. So what essentially is going on here is the voters expected all of this from Donald Trump. The majority did, and that is why his favorable rating, simply put, has not really moved all that much compared to where it was a year ago. Trump is basically doing what the American people thought that he was going to do. Indeed, if you look at the numbers, Trump has basically the steadiest favorable rating this much through a presidency of any president on record, and it's basically where he was a year ago, good enough to get him reelected.
So then what are you saying is how this is impacting midterms?
Yeah, okay, so one of the questions we basically had as we've gone on through the numbers, right, is that Democrats have not been able to run away with it, and now we know it's basically because Donald Trump is where he thought he was, which was good enough for the Republicans to maintain control of the House last time around. Look at this, the race for Congress, Dems versus Republican margin. You look at the New York Times poll, it was tied a year ago at this point. Now it's Democrats +2 within the margin of error. Look at Yahoo YouGov. It was +3 Democrats at this point a year ago. Now it's +4. Maybe the Democrats have gained a little bit, but in reality, Kate, what we're really seeing is that the American public is pretty much steady. They are basically where they were a year ago at this point. Maybe Democrats can take control of the House where the polling is right now, but maybe not, because the bottom line is we've seen numbers fairly similar to what we have right now. We had it a year ago, and it was not good enough for Democrats to take control. The bottom line is this. As long as Donald Trump is where he is, Republicans will, in fact, remain competitive. If they, in fact, gain a little bit, it really would not be that surprising to me if Republicans were able to maintain control of the House, especially given their redistricting efforts in many of those states.
Fascinating.
Wow. I love it, everybody. Well, you know what I love, too, is we always got stuff that's coming out right now. 2028 presidential election odds. Vance, 32% to win it all, everybody. You literally got Trump at 6%. That's hilarious that people still think Trump's going to run. Look, Steve Bannon is all in it for Trump to run in 2028. A lot of people say that because the 2020 election was stolen from him, that he should be able to run again. But this is, we'll see, everybody. But I think Vance would do a phenomenal job. And to me, Trump, he's had 2 terms now. I think Vance continues on the MAGA agenda, and we are good. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Listen to this.
Democrats are telling us they want a rematch of the Civil War.
The right wing in this country wants a rematch of the Civil War. I want that to sit in right now, because the President of the United States of America has declared war on the people of Chicago and people across America.
We don't want a rematch. The president hasn't declared war on anyone, but they've declared him public enemy number 1.
It is time to recognize that while you thought the enemy was the immigrant, or you thought the enemy was the trans person, or you thought that the enemy was the black folk, it is not any of those people on the list. It is the old white Nepo baby that is sitting in the White House.
Do you hear that? Guys, I just want to show you how crazy some of these people sound. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. She literally called Trump the old white Nepo baby. And it's just mind-blowing that, again, she can say whatever she wants, but we do not have decorum, and we don't have decency in the White House anymore. In the Congress anymore. It just doesn't exist. Just like Steve Bannon said, and others, and MTG has said, there's no common ground anymore.
Chicago's taking up arms. Over the weekend, this windy city looked like Fort Sumter.
Let's go! Get out of the road now! Get back! Get back! Get back!
Thugs in bandanas threw rocks and bottles at ICE agents on patrol. Chicago police, nowhere to be found. One woman with a rifle rammed her car into an ICE vehicle, using it as a weapon. The ICE vehicle was disabled, leaving agents trapped and forced to open fire. The driver, Miramar Martinez, she was flagged last week for doxing agents and posting this, quote, "Hey, to all my gang, let's F these mother effers up. Don't let them take anyone." This was the second ramming incident over the weekend. The feds tried calling for backup, but Chicago PD was ordered to pull a Benghazi.
And again, per the chief of patrol, we have all the units that per 999, chief of patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location.
Chicago PD says they did show up.
Did you see that? This is the problem that Biden administration created. Where's the accountability at? And I want to see so much. I want to see accountability when it comes to these people that have caused all of this chaos.
But the dispatch you just heard said they were told to stand down. The mayor of Chicago doesn't think all lives matter.
Do you want Chicago police not to help ICE agents?
Our police department will respond to every incident in which their services are needed to keep people safe, protecting the fundamental right to be able to protest, ensuring the maximum safety of our residents.
Johnson's signaling that the police's priority is protecting protesters above everyone else. Agents are getting attacked with cars, projectiles, and being shot at across the country. But Governor Ribs is declaring war on ICE.
Trump and the thuggery that his agents have brought
has actively made us less safe. The state of Illinois is going to use every lever at our disposal to resist this power grab and get Noam's thugs the hell out of Chicago. I'm not afraid.
25 people were shot over the weekend in Chicago. ICE is there because of the dereliction of duty by Biden and the Democrats.
I want to show you this, everybody, too, because remember, we bring the receipts, everybody. You want to talk about how bad things are when it comes to these Democrat-run states? Look at this. It's literally, you would consider a war zone. In Chicago, over the past decade, they've seen 32,000 shooting victims. In the last decade, 32,000. This is nuts. And they want to say they don't have a problem? Like, we're not living in the same reality. How do you come to terms or come to a common ground with people that can't even acknowledge what is?
You have black women with MAGA hats on in Chicago, all over the place. They want the guard to come in. There was one woman, she was great today. She said, you know what? I don't care if it's the National Guard, the Army, the Marines, the Air Force. I don't care who comes in as long as we're safe. And that's the way most of the public feels.
Why don't Democrats want to protect black women? First, they didn't stand up for black kids with cancer. Now this. Jussie Smollett got the benefit of the doubt in Chicago, but not ICE. Democrats keep saying this is a civil war. Well, Trump's the one trying to liberate black Americans, while they're demanding to know who's going to pick their crops. Democrats have started creating mini confederacies.
The order establishes ICE-free zones. That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids.
An ICE-free zone kind of sounds like they're flirting with secession. Democrats are throwing around the S word. Mother Jones, it's time for soft secession. Chicago's not the only city clashing with the feds. The Portland battle is 100 days and counting. The city's rebelling against the federal government, just like in Chicago. Portland PD won't keep federal agents safe either. They actually slapped them with a zoning violation for boarding up their building's windows so Antifa can't see inside. They believe women have a right to privacy, just not ICE.
Wow.
An ICE facility was just shot up in Dallas, and now cartels have put bounties on their heads.
They're making plans to ambush them and to kill them. We have specific officers and agents that have bounties that have been put out on their heads. It's been $2,000 to kidnap them, $10,000 to kill them.
We're trying to protect the country from cartels, and they're saying we're at war with Americans, and Kristi Noem should be charged with war crimes.
I think Kristi Noem should have consequences. I think she should be tried at The Hague. What we are seeing from her operation are crimes against humanity.
Agents.
You gotta be kidding me. Like, I'm telling you, what, like some of the stuff that you can see across the spectrum of the United States when it comes to some of these blue cities, to me, I'm in the favor of just let them operate by themselves. No federal aid, no federal intervention whatsoever, and let them essentially, if they're gonna destroy themselves, let them destroy themselves. Just like in New York, they want to elect a socialist mayor, don't get no federal funds. Don't expect the federal government to bail you out with your bad policies whenever you want to do all these socialist actions. I don't want my tax dollars going to all these socialist causes. And now that we found out that the Biden FBI spied on 8 GOP senators, this is huge. And again, it's already been presented, the evidence, to a grand jury for indictments. All the senators that were part of this are furious. It's nuts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate our show, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, everybody. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you to everybody who is watching. If you're not a member of the channel, please consider joining, hitting that subscribe button, joining our family. Want to thank all the members of the channel. Thank those that give a super chat donation. Remember, when you give on this channel, we donate to a local charity live on stream on the 22nd of every single month, and it's to a local children's home. To kids that don't got anybody, but they got us. And with your support, we are giving more and more every single month, and it is beautiful. I want to give some special love to those that have given today. PDX67 with the gifted 20 TrueLife News memberships. Show PDX some love in the chat, everybody. Tracy Markham, Papa Don, Danny, the Texas Lazy Gardener, Lily Shira, Fred Samuel, thank you all so much. Show them some love in the chat. Robert Cash, Google user, Gator Presley, Darlene K. Chapman, thank y'all so much for your support. Don't forget to show them some love in the chat if you got taken care of, everybody. And again, this is big. This is big, big stuff. We're moving into I feel like a new age of the United States. And we need to look out for one another. Don't forget about our sponsor, Chapter. It's free, everybody. If you're on Medicare, it's free. You can call them up at the number 667-895-3015, and they're going to make sure that you get the best plan possible. They can already compare plans, the new plans of 2026 with your current plan, and get things set up for October the 15th, and you can be taken care of. This is big, everybody. And again, the more and more that we bind together, we help each other out, the more that we can all win. You tell them that Joel from TrueLife News sent you, Chapter. They're going to take care of you. We appreciate y'all so much. Mary Boswell, thank you so much for being a member for 4 months. Let's go. Show Mary some love in the chat. Thank you so much for liking our videos, sharing our videos. Jesus is Lord. Thank you so much for the super chat. Member of the channel said, God bless you all. I love it. Amen. Show Jesus is Lord some love in the chat, everybody. We can't thank you enough. So much kindness. We appreciate you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.